Hello YouTube and welcome back to Train Sim World. Thank you very much for joining me in this video. Today we are going to be continuing with Chapter 2, Express Driver. We're going to be driving the Class 43 HST, affectionately known as the Intercity 125, now retired on the Great Western Railway and indeed on the East Coast Main Line by GWR and LNER respectively. So these trains do not run on these lines anymore. They haven't for, I think LNER retired theirs a few months ago, but nevertheless they don't run on these lines anymore. But we are going to be taking them out, and we're going to be doing 1 Lima 48 Swansea to London Paddington. Drive a high-speed train on the last portion of its journey from Swansea along the Thames? Well done me. Along the Thames Valley from Reading to London Paddington. So that's what we're going to be doing. Make sure you guys stay tuned. I'm probably going to do this without the HUD. Should be interesting, but let's see if I can still follow all the rules. Right, here we go. It says stop at London Paddington, 12:30. There's nothing else on this. What I am going to do though is switch on, not that's one, switch that off. Wait a minute. That's on, I think. Right, here we go. We do not have to do anything. I'm just going to do that. Release the brakes. Stick this into... That's probably why nothing happened. There we go. Okay. Stick that into forward, as that clearly was not told. And away we go. I think. Or not. Are our brakes just not? Have I done something very, very wrong here? You know, I have a feeling this has happened to me before in this title. Where I've had... There we go. Right, that's wasted some time. So what do we have? A 40 mile per hour limit, and then I should switch off the HUD. So, in fact, let's do this. That's not what I'm meant to do. Just for nice videos. I'll switch on my lights in a moment. Nice video, nice thumbnail. Doesn't sound right. The engine sounds fine. MTU engine, quiet, but the what's it called doesn't sound right. The horn. Alright, we've got a 60. I shall switch on the lights if I can actually do that. And I shall accelerate to 60 momentarily. I say momentarily, I shall accelerate to 60. Actually, I won't accelerate to 60, I'm going to go for the full 125. Let's go for it. Here we go. I will also switch on the... Where are they? Where are the lights for this? Number of things that aren't shown. It's supposed to be here somewhere. That's the heating. The lights are here somewhere. I know they are. I just do not know where. That was another... Right, that's an unknown. I haven't a clue. Nothing there telling me... That's an interesting signal. That's clear. Okay. I'll just keep looking for the lights in the meantime. Engine start. That. No, it's driver buzzer. There it is. That's the one I was after. Okay, perfect. Right, right up to 125 we go. Hopefully we make it through the entire thing. But this should be an interesting journey, as long as we do not run into any red signals or anything like that. Right. Maybe in the meantime, I tell you what I'll do. In the meantime, let's talk about the Class 43 as a whole, because I guess that's we've got nothing to do here, and as long as I remember to slow the train down at the right time, I should be completely fine. So the Class 43 HST, as I said in the introduction, known as the Intercity 125, or that's what it's affectionately known as because it was originally the Intercity 125 high-speed train, which was put together, and I think they were what was the original classes for them? 253 and 254, I think is what they used to refer to these engines as. So it was a class 253 and 254, but they became the class 43 consist, or something like that. Not 100% sure. I think or was it the entire train was a 253, 254, something along those lines. But anyway, it was built in, I think initially they were built in 1975, something like that. They were built for about seven years. Almost 200 of them were built. Top speed, of course, 125 miles an hour, hence the Intercity 125. Pretty powerful trains, if I remember correctly. They were really powerful trains at 2,200. Was it 2,200 bhp per unit, or sorry, 2,200 horsepower per unit? Something along those lines, which is really a lot in the engine anyway. I think once the power was down to do the gears and everything, on the actual rail it was slightly less, but still well up, way above 1,000. I think even above 1,750. This engine did manage to reach 148 miles per hour. That was its record speed, but the service speed, the line speed for this engine was 125, as line speed in the UK is 125. So that's some information about the engine. We had three types of engines on the locomotive. I'm saying engine, I mean the locomotive, and we'll talk more about the train very soon. But there were three types of engines in this. We had the MTUs, which is the one that we've got right now, these quiet ones. I think all the trains now run MTU engines. We had the VP 185s. Those were in service for a while. I think all of those have now been replaced too. And we also had the classic Valenta engines. Now those were the screaming engines. Those were probably the best engines ever. Extremely loud. The turbos were loud. The engine used to scream. It was insane when you used to actually hear these. Now, of course, the operators for this train, plenty of different operators. Currently, only East Midlands Railway, I think, and Cross Country have these. I'm not sure if Great Western run these out of Paddington anymore. I'm not sure if Great Western still have these trains. But certainly I know that East Midlands Railway and Cross Country still have these. I think ScotsRail has taken over a few, or ScotsRail, whatever it is. And of course it was used to be under the I say command. It was under the operation of many different train companies, from British Rail when it was when the railways were nationalised, all the way on to the privatised ones. So you're talking about East Coast, East Midlands Trains, Midland Main Line, Great North Eastern Railway, Grand Central, London North Eastern Railway, the National Express, Virgin Trains, whether that was Cross Country or East Coast. So those were all trains or train operators that used to have this particular train. So it's a very well-known train. It's also the fastest diesel locomotive in the world. I think, is this Slough? No, Maidenhead, sorry. This is Maidenhead. So it's also the fastest diesel locomotive in the world. As I said, it managed to reach 148 miles per hour. And it was just a really nice engine overall. It's just a fantastic engine. Very well known, very iconic, very recognisable on the railways. Whether the engine was, whichever guise the engine was in, whichever livery, it was very recognisable on the railways that, oh, this is an Intercity 125. That being said, its most recognisable livery, I think, is the original Intercity livery, which is the blue and yellow, and then the Intercity Swallow livery, which was also a very recognisable livery, I think. My favourite livery on this was the Intercity Swallow liveries, which were absolutely brilliant. I think that these engines were meant to retire a long time ago, but due to issues with getting new locomotives, I think they've now got these horrible Hitachi locomotives, but getting new locomotives, and I think, what's the LNER ones? They've got do they call them the Azures or something like that? Those ones were the replacements, and they're not, I think they're only starting to be delivered now to everybody. So these trains are still in action. You see these trains quite a lot. Of course, no longer on the Great Western out of Paddington, and no longer on London North Eastern Railway, but I was going to say the Midland Main Line. It's not the Midland Main Line. That's what it used to be. It used to be the Midland Main Line. Who runs it now? East Midlands Railway? I think East Midlands Railway. They still run these engines. I think they may have purchased. Great Westerns. So there's a lot of these engines still running around up and down the country, and of course in Scotland with ScotsRail, they're everywhere there as well. What other information is there about this? I'm just trying to fill the time at the moment. What's that for? And nothing that I know of. If that causes me, if I'm swapping track, it's 125. There's no way I'm swapping track. Hi, bye. But yes, there's a number of trains like these. I think that are very recognisable, and this is one of them, the Intercity 125, the Class 43. And of course, if you think about it, if these trains were built in the 1970s, you're talking about they've been running for 40 years. Well over 40 years, 45 years, and probably by the time they're completely retired, some of them could have even done almost 50 years in service, which is, if you think about that as a train, 50 years of a train, that's incredible to have 50 years, a train running in service for 50 years. And it's not 50 years on and off, it's continuous. The train would have been running continuously for 50 years, apart from if it's been taken out for maintenance or something. That's incredible. That's also insane, but it's also quite fantastic to be able to have trains that can do this. Where am I? I have no idea. Is this... Oh, it's one of those two that I don't know which one's which. Either and something else. Green signals all the way for me, which is lovely. There's a pickup over there I just saw on the side. What am I going to do? Walk along this entire railway? Maybe I should. No, that's going to take too long. Well, I think we're coming in towards London's the Heathrow junction. If I am recognising this area, I think. I cannot be 100% certain. Nope. Yep. That's right. There it is. There's the junction. That's what I like, that echo. So we're just pottering along. To be honest, I haven't touched the controls for a while. I know that there's supposed to be a driver vigilance device, which I've disabled because I do not know what the key is for it, so I do not want my train constantly stopping. But I'm pottering along, 123 miles per hour. Nothing to do, really. That was Hayes and Harlington. Oh, sorry, West Drayton. There's Hayes and Harlington. There's Southall coming up. But yeah, I haven't had to actually change controls. This is a really easy one. Just going along. Nothing to do. It would be nice if you had a lot of snow and trouble on the line, and you had to, I don't know. As much as I like trains, I do not think I would ever enjoy driving a train. I just do not think that this is something I would like to do at all. It's if I was fixing trains or moving them around and occasionally having to drive a train, so once every week or something, then great, that's awesome. But if I had to do this day in, day out, I think I would get rather bored. Because for the most part, it's the same thing over and over, and it isn't like an aircraft where it's lots of things to press and lots of buttons and lots of knobs to turn and dials and switches to flick and toggle buttons and whatnot. It's just, well, we're here now. I've just had to do my first control update. All I'm doing is just reducing the power. West Ealing. And coming up to Ealing Broadway. Now this is where the brakes are going to have to start being applied at some point. I just like that noise. So I'm just going to leave it as it is now. I wonder if I'm going to make it for 12:30. I do not know. I haven't checked the time at all. It did say 12:30 I need to get there, right? I think. I'm really tempted to press F1 to bring the HUD back up, but I want to do this all the way into Paddington without it. And then of course we'll probably have a return one going in the opposite direction, which I will also do without it. Look at this closing speed we have to that train. Although is that train slowing down for accident? What was that? I'm not sure what that signal was for us. I think that's a 90. I think. I'm going to slow down to 90. I'm fairly sure there's a 90 coming up. So I'm 50? It is a 50. I got into that 50 really quickly. I had to bring that up. Wow, the brakes release incredibly quickly on this train. I did not realise they released that quickly. I'm not sure if they're supposed to release that quickly. Okay, well, whilst I was panicking about that, 0.9 of a mile. So, hold on, they expected me to slow down from 125 to 50. That's quite a slowdown. I suppose that's one I've got to get used to. There should be a 40 coming up as well. I did see the Morpeth board, but I thought it was a 125 to 90 to 50 to 40. Apparently not. Yep, I know what that one's for. I'm pretty sure we should be going into a 40. But apparently there's no 40 marker either. So I'm just going to keep slowing this thing down. In fact, there's Paddington ahead of us. Now it says 25. There was no warning for the 25 either. Oh no, our 25 is here. Okay. So I've got into that quite nicely. How do I get rid of this? I'm not sure how to get rid of... No. I do not know how to get rid of that. I'm just going to creep in all the way. You know what I'm going to do? Let's bring that up. What time is it? 12:26. We got there well ahead of time. Oh, now I'm going to blast this. just because I can. Yes, I know it's childish, but what can you do? I need to figure out how to remove these markers again. And we bopped into the buffers, I think. Unlock doors. I suppose I was too busy. Oh, what? You cannot hear it out. No, you're not serious. Is it because it throws me outside? Hold on. I'm going to go inside. I need to go inside to... Ow, ow, ow. Somehow I've ended up in a train. That's better. I suppose that's what the buffer's up. Oh no, wait. Maybe I didn't hit the buffer unless I bounced off the buffer. Don't do that. Do that. Take a picture there. That still doesn't sound right. Even like that, it doesn't sound quite right. But that is the end of this video. A bit scruffy. That was certainly a little bit scruffy. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Train Sim World, the Great Western Railway. I earned a silver medal because of the speeding, clearly. I think that's what got me the silver medal. Had I known that... Oh, hang on. There was a drop to 100 that I was not told about. Well, that's interesting. There was a drop to 100 I wasn't told about. And then it went to drop 100 to 50. Right. That explains a fair amount. Well, there we go. If you do want to support me on Patreon, you can do so. And I would very much appreciate it if you could. www.patreon.com/ecgadget. And you can also find me on social media at ecgadgetlp for both Twitter and Instagram. That's all from me, and I'll see you guys next time in Train Sim World and the Great Western Railway.